Today I'm showing you how I collaged these 6 cards. These are a part of the Margaret Miller Collage weekly prompts, and this is weeks 5 through 9. So I hope you'll hang out with me today and see how these cards were made. Hey, it's Bitty Penny. Welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. All right, we're just going to jump right into this. I know this video is maybe a little long, but it's because it's got 5 weeks of prompts. I'm starting right away with week 5. And the prompts for this one were a sewing item, something your state or country is known for, an item representing a childhood memory, something ornate, something that starts with an L, and the bonus was something pink. All right, I didn't do pink. And I have multiple childhood memories that had to do with tornadoes. Oh yes, TVs and tornadoes. Those were a big part of my childhood. And one time we were eating dinner and someone rang the doorbell and I was super excited, and I ran and I had my glass of water in my hand and I went to set it on top of the TV before answering the door, and it spilt. And smoke and steam literally started coming out of the television. And my dad was like, all right, everyone, hurry up and finish your meal. We're going to Kmart to get a new TV. And we bought one that night. And it's just like a memory that stuck in my head. So I did find a little glass that I was going to put that was tumbled over. And then I could not help myself. I picked, which I think Texas is known for tornadoes. At least if you grow up in North Texas, you know there's tornadoes. But also the TV show Dallas. I mean, these days, the young ones, they don't know. But a lot of us others know about JR, right? So I had to put that into the television. Plus, it's an old TV. The one I blew up was an old TV too. I don't think my dad was really that upset because, I mean, he's a lot like my husband, where it's like, oh, darn, we have to go buy a new TV. Shucks. You know what I mean? I mean, really, they want one, so it's okay. Oh, but I remember feeling terrible about it. Okay, I picked lace for sewing, and honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do for sewing. And then I looked. Sorry, I had to yawn all of a sudden. I looked up sewing terms and lace was on there. And then I picked this leopard for something that starts with an L. I think the lace and the leopard are really ornate. So, you know, both of those kind of check off that box. And also there's a lady on the television that starts with an L. So I think a few of the things I picked kind of fall under a couple of the different prompts for this week. But yeah, we used to have this picture of like this leopard in the jungle. It was a big picture that would hang on our wall, and I always loved it. So I had to put that leopard in there because there was a leopard in my living room. It wasn't living, thank goodness. But there was always a leopard in the living room. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. I mean, for me, this collage is definitely like very symbolic. I went heavy on the an item representing your childhood memory, because that's really what this collage is summed up to. You're going to see at the end of this video how I changed this collage. I actually didn't leave it the way that I made it here, which, you know, is maybe a good thing because, you know, I think it's good to keep experimenting and playing. And, you know, maybe a collage is never done until it's really done. I've got to share this insight with you guys before we start the second one, though, is that I made all 5, actually I made 6 collages. I did it for 5 weeks, but I noticed that in collage, I am extremely particular in a way that I'm not with junk journaling or card making typically. I think because it's just a few elements and everything has to feel so deliberate. And I actually enjoy that about collage. I didn't realize that was something that I was doing last year when I was doing collage. And I don't know that I was, but because I decided this year to do collage again, but do it differently, that is what I'm noticing now as I'm being extremely deliberate about everything I do. Where last year I was really just creating scenes and finding a story with collage. I think so far I've done 9 weeks and I feel like I'm being very deliberate this time. Let's get into week 6. This is for week 6. An object hung on a wall, a piece of ribbon, transportation, something sharp, a photo of your family or a family member, and the bonus was a form. I picked the bonus of form, and I did not put a family member on this card. So I wasn't really interested in it. I did one with family members last year, and that was cool and all, but I didn't really want to do that this time. I grabbed these 3 colors, which were, I think, I know this is fossilized amber. The other one's dried marigold, the lightest one that I'm going to put at the top. And then the last one that I use is spiced marmalade. Whew. Had to pull that from deep within to remember these colors. But yeah, this one here is, see there, it's gone again. Colors. That was dried marigold, and this is spiced marmalade. Okay, all right, pull it together. Anyways, I'm creating a background. The colors really don't matter, but I do like these 3 together, and I think that they went really well with this piece. I wanted this piece to really pop, and so I was trying to go for contrast, which we got here. So there is my couple in a boat, and they are headed straight into that cactus. It looks like a rough situation, but they weren't paying attention to the signs. The sign said one way, and they are going the other way. So with ribbon, I actually honestly just tore a piece of fabric to make this little piece of a ribbon because I wanted it to look like a little river. And I think this image is really, really fun. I love that it's, very retro or vintage, plus a little bit sci-fi. And then I'm going to bring in aquatics because I'm going to bring in a bunch of squid. I think they're squid, and fish into this, and they're all going to be going the correct way. So I thought it would be kind of fun to have, because they're floating down a river, I thought it would be fun to have some sea life that is all going the correct way. And here I wanted to show you how I am tacking all these things down. So once I had everything exactly where I wanted it, then I took the time to go around my piece and just tack down all the little pieces together and layered up the way I wanted them to be. And then I will glue them down as one big piece. And I find this to be so much easier with an item like this, where the position of everything is kind of critical and really important, at least in my eye it was. Then I wanted to join them all together as one piece and glue that down. And that felt much easier. Almost, the majority of my images today came from those 2 books that I shared in my live the other day, the collage books that I shared. I shared that I had bought them in my no-buy. I know, somebody come stop me. But but again, I hope that now, after seeing this video, if you were hanging out with me in my live, then you understand what I was talking about when I was saying I wanted to take my collage in a different direction this year. And I wanted 2 books that would give me a lot of variety, a lot of different scale, to images instead of having a bunch of magazines. I love the magazines and I love people who create with magazines, but it's just a road I'm just hesitant to go down. So I chose to just get 2 collage books with elements. I'll leave them linked down below for you guys. All right, the next week, which is week 7, something used for or while traveling, washi tape, a piece of letter or postcard, something with distinct scent or smell, rubber stamping in any color other than black, and the bonus was sheet music. So I grabbed this tea-dyed, this paper here that I'm tearing right now is a tea-dyed patterned paper of postcards. And so it's not like authentic or real postcard or letter. I don't think it matters. And then something with a distinct smell, fish. I do not like it. I don't like the smell of cows and horses and all that either. Like, I'm such a city girl in that way. And I don't like the smell of the city. I don't know. Let's not go down that road. I picked a camera originally for my something used for or while traveling. And you know how when I'm watching like National Geographic and the guys are scuba diving and they like have these huge cameras in the fish's face. It's kind of annoying, and I didn't like it in my collage either. And I remembered this stamp set that I had acquired last fall, and it had the ships on it, which I thought I pulled it for the ships, but then it turned out that I really wanted the compass. So I'm going to stamp the compass actually in a couple of colors. At first, I try Rusty Hinge, but it was just a little too close to my paper color, so I end up going back in over it later with Vintage Photo. I couldn't find my walnut stain. I think that would have been the right color, but that's okay. It's not a focal point. The fish is stealing the show here, but I would like to see a little more of the compass. I love compass, like images and compasses in general. I don't know what it is. I even have one on my charm bracelet that I wear. So anyways, I am putting the compass down, and that is going to take the place of the camera. I no longer need the camera. And what I like about it is it kind of balances out the paper a little bit, having that dark piece over there on the lighter piece. So, yeah, it all works out. It's always interesting, you think you're going one direction while creating, and typically our pieces end up different, much different. And just go with the flow. Just go with the flow, embrace it, and let your mind wander. I think, one thing that I was talking about also in my life was collage has been a part of my life since I was a little girl. I used to collage my magazines and my mom's magazines and National Geographic. I used to collage when I was young. And then I collaged in my 20s, and then I put it down. I had kids. I got married and grew up. Well, now I'm Peter Pan again, and I'm back to collaging, and I absolutely love it. So how fun it is to revisit and, really just to acknowledge these things that have been a part of us for so long, like collage. Or I think a lot of people probably feel that way when they go back to adult coloring. That's something that most all of us enjoyed as children. And then to get back into it in your adulthood, there is a lot of joy in rediscovering those childhood joys. So another parameter prompt was the washi tape. And I grabbed this one that looked like stamps because well, this already had stamps on it. It was the postcards. I was just trying to use, honestly, I'm just trying to use the prompt. Uh, and it fit well, so I go for that. I don't think it really enhances the collage much at all because those stamps, there were already stamps in those places. So I don't think this is like a big enhancement. It's basically me checking things off the box. So this is my second year of using the Margaret Miller prompts, and I have to say, I was a little surprised that a lot of the prompts seemed to be very similar to last year, but I never did it. I didn't do it the first 2 years that it was out. So it may be that that's just, it is what it is. But I feel like they're so wide open that no matter what, I'll keep having fun with it. I just wasn't sure when I purchased it this year if it was going to be, like a different set of ideas, I guess. And they seem similar to last year's ideas. Again, that's totally fine. I mean, I only did 6 months last year, so there's still a half of year of prompts that I didn't do. And so, if you already have some, you could just keep playing with those. And that's what I'm going to show you at the end of this video. For week 9, I actually made 2 collages. So, I mean, you can, and now these 2 are very close and almost the same, but yeah, you can always go back and redo the collages as well. So follow your own inner compass, okay? This sentiment just seemed perfect. It went well over the compass. It kind of I felt like it tied everything together really well. And so that is everything for that collage. Now this one was, I guess, a hoot and a holler. That says diner coffee. It's hard to see the coffee, but this is for week 8. It says an accessory you wear, a ticket, the title of a book in your bookshelf, a vegetable plant or part of one, something related to coffee, and the bonus was lace. So I have the diner, and it does say diner coffee, but I did decide to use that stamp set as well. I don't know what it was, but I really wanted this particular color of blue as a background. So I went right to my 12 by 12 paper and grabbed it. I have some lettuce or cabbage here. I don't know which one it is. I eat both. I still can't tell. And for coffee, I did grab this not too shabby stamp set. And at first I was going to use the little coffee bean, and I was actually going to make the vegetables her earrings, but that was a little bold and not quite what I wanted. So that's why I went with like a barrette or a ribbon in her hair. It's really a barrette. That diner coffee sign with the lace is a barrette, in case you were wondering, which is something you wear. And then I really wanted this like carafe of coffee to tie in the coffee theme. And I think it goes well. It fills in that background nicely. And this one is pretty easy, pretty quick, and lots of fun. I like the way it came together. And, okay, I've got to tell you this, though. The book on my bookshelf, I chose my title of my book before I chose any images. So the title of the book that I chose was Succulent Wild Woman. It's by Sark, S-A-R-K. And I just have such an affinity with this book. It came out in 1997. I bought it when it was brand new. And I'll never forget, I went up into the Ozark Mountains for New Year's Eve by myself, rented a cabin, and I took that book and I took a bunch of art supplies and I took music and a jam box, and I just had the time of my life for like 2 days, just being a succulent, wild, young woman. Had my Corvette. Man, I was too cool for school. I'd already graduated school, and I did that same tradition for about 3 years. I would always go to the same place and rent a cabin and bring in the new year with art supplies and books and music all by myself. And that book was the first one I ever took. That was, I feel like, such a pivotal read in my life, and like what it helped me harness from a young age of like 17 was just amazing. I'm so grateful for it. I recommend the book to everyone. I've been trying to figure out how to incorporate it in my channel so that everyone gets a taste of Sark. But I definitely recommend it. If it's just a fun, delightful read. That's it. And but anyways, so I picked that one because that book has been with me for so long, and I picked that, and then I picked these images, and I thought she was succulent and wild and free, and then she was just, like me. Like back in the day when I was reading that book, I worked in a diner. I was a diner chick, So this is very representative of me. And sometimes I had red hair. It all came from a box, but I had red hair. So yeah, I never had this much hair though. I don't know. I love all the collages today for one reason or another. They all are so much fun, but I felt like this one was extra special. So I just really had a lot of fun putting it together. And I love all the contrasting colors, just the rich saturation of color. I think this collage is really striking and delightful. I had so many ideas with her too. Like I couldn't decide if she was going to have like a little nameplate, would say like Flo or Toby or I don't know, but I ended up giving her the barrette. Like a lapel pin with her name on it. Okay, I have these older stamps, alpha stamps that you join together to form words, and I really like them. I got them from Hobby Lobby ages ago, and I have the uppercase and lowercase, and so that's how I'm building my sentiment. I think most paper crafters need some good alphabet stamps. I have a whole array of them. This is the one I tend to go to because it's just the easiest to put together. But I love being able to create my own, unique and personalized sentiment so easily. So there it is. I did have to go in and touch it up. These are very imperfect stamps. They are wonky as can be, but I do love them. So that's me, Succulent Wild Woman, and that's you too if you're a lady and you're watching this. You're succulent and wild too. Embrace it. And that is my PSA for today. Oh, anyways, that's it. That's what I did. Like I cut up the greens and put them down below, and that's what we've got. Now, moving on to the last two collages. So this book cracks me up. It's the Supermom's Country Cookbook, and I looked through the table of contents and I was like, nachos. Yeah, because here's the prompts. A wild animal, a tree with blossoms, part of a recipe you enjoy making, a book page, something that came in the mail, and the bonus was a date or anything from a calendar. Well, when I'm feeling super lazy and I don't really want to make dinner, I'm like, who wants nachos? And I really try to sell it because they're fast and they're easy and they're fun to eat. So nachos was the recipe I picked. And then I am trying to use that Graphics Fairy subscription, y'all. They're not cheap. I mean, they're not expensive either. It's really not. But I'm trying to use it this year because I've had it for 2 years and didn't use it. So I went to my Graphics Fairy account and I made this little image that y'all see. And I made sure that it measured 4 by 6 so it could be my background. And what it is a Yacardia tree, which is, I think, and that's a Mexican tree. So this is all Mexican themed. Sorry, let me get out of the weeds here. These are Mexican themed cards. And first I went to Google and I was like, okay, what are some flowering trees from Mexico? I found this one and holy cow, I want one in my yard. It's gorgeous. And then I grabbed like a Mexican map, and then I grabbed a monkey because spider monkeys are common. So then I looked for wild animals of Mexico, and it's like hummingbirds, parrots, spider monkeys. And I was like, okay, I want all of those things. So yeah, I'm going to put those on here. And honestly, I really feel like these look like postcards. You know, when you shopping postcards on your trips and they're kind of crazy, that's what these look like. These kind of look like the postcards of when you might go to Mexico and they're like, we want you to know everything fabulous about Mexico. So we're going to put it all in one postcard. And I like postcards like that. So I kind of feel like that's what these are. It's like, visit Mexico. Now, obviously, I don't think nachos are really Mexican. Let's be honest. I'm Texan. I'm pretty sure nachos are pretty Texan, but I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. But yeah, I have parrots, hummingbirds, monkeys. I've got April and May because these trees bloom in the spring. So I thought I'd pick spring months to put for the calendar prompt. And I even bring in some Frida and I mean, Viva la Mexico. Here we go. I don't know that this tree though is authentic to Mexico. This like palm looking tree. Let's just pretend on that one because I'm not really sure and I wasn't really worried about it, to be honest. That one came from my collage book. But it is kind of fun for me, I like to pick a theme. Y'all, I mean, welcome to my channel. I like to pick themes here for my junk journals, my cards, my everything. It makes my brain happy. So once I did that, then it was fun doing a little research and figuring out what animals are wild to Mexico and what do I want to put, what kind of flowering trees and when do they bloom. And, you know, I'm getting to learn a little while I make art. That's a good thing. That's a really good thing. I encourage it. Use some Google while you're collaging. One of my images today, I wanted to tell you, the tornado image came from Unsplash, which I had used last year when I did collage, and then I kind of honestly forgot about them. And then my friend Barbie over at Nellie and Ruth Designs I noticed recently Unsplash for one of her collages, and I was like, oh, thank you for the reminder. I had forgotten about them, but that is a great source for images because they don't mind if you use their images like this. It's meant to be that way. So it's a great source and you can use the images. I don't know about digitally reproducing them and all that. Just you got to find that out from them. But for what I'm doing here today, it's totally legal and fine and kosher and cool. So yay for that. Okay, as I said before, I wasn't done with this one. I really was annoyed that this leopard was laying down and the ground looked like that. I don't know why. It was just really bugging me. But we always had rugs in my house, so I'm going to put a rug under it, and that is going to make me feel so much better. I just used some washi tape On my Mexico cards, I went to my washi tape collection and I grabbed every Mexican looking washi tape that I could find. And this was one of them. So I thought, oh, it's already on my desk. It looks good like a rug. Let's go with it. So I mean, it's the tiniest detail, but this goes back to what I was saying in the beginning, that I feel like with collage, I'm extremely deliberate in what I create. Okay, so deliberate that the glass of water is tipped the wrong way. It really should have gone the other way. And I felt like, I'm the only one, well, me and my family are the only ones that know that story and that really works for. And for whatever reason, I decided to cover it up. So only you guys watching this video will know that the glass of water is hidden underneath the rabbit ears. But yeah, I'm just going to make my own rabbit ears to cover it up. We always had rabbit ears on top of the TV. So now they're going to be in my collage as well. Yeah, just used a Dollar Tree metallic pen, some brown paper, a black pen, and, just scribble, scratch, cut it out, bam, rabbit ears. But I actually like this so much better. And I know that there's water turned over underneath there. And I know what happens next. You're going to Kmart. Got to get a new TV that night. Oh my gosh. So many memories like that. So beautiful. So here are my cards, you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, listening to all of my craziness. We're going to go in order because that's the way to do it. This is week 5. I love the drama of that sky. I mean, I don't want it. I'm over tornadoes. I don't need to live through or go through, and I want to live through all of them, but I don't want to go through another tornado if I don't have to. But I do love the drama and just the datedness of that image. Again, like the sci-fi in this one, the like vintage pulp magazine sci-fi. This reminds me of definitely like a pulp magazine from the 50s, and I'm loving it. Very, very fun. And I've wanted to create things like this, but I never have. So yay, I just did it. You can do it too. Just have fun when you're creating. I mean, this is the fun thing for me about being a paper crafter is I can dream things up and actually make them happen. So follow your own inner compass as you're creating. This one is really fun too. I wanted to point out my matting here. So look at that mat, that green one that I matted that card to. And then look at this one. This one I just wanted to leave the very edge of the card showing. Wanted more of that green. This one I wanted more of the white card base showing. And then on other ones, I didn't use any at all. Like this one, I wanted that big white border. So play around with it. I didn't put a ticket on this one. I really wanted some guest check business on it. That would have been so perfect for the diner look. But I looked and looked and I couldn't find a guest check in my stash. So I just have to, if I find my guest check, I'm going to put it on the inside. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep looking and I'm going to put one on the inside. And here's my Viva La Mexico cards, and I love them. They're wild and fun and collaged. Just so much fun. And then look at those borders and different colors. So your mats, just do what you feel is best. This one, I just wanted the tiniest bit of a green mat around the edges to tie everything in from the bird and the trees and stuff. And then this one, I wanted a big blue one. Whatever floats your boat. I approve it. So yeah, this is just a really great time, you guys. Now I have all these funky 5x7s in my stash, and I'm happy about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found inspiration here today, a little bit of laughter and joy. That would make me so happy if that was true. I appreciate your time. I know it's precious, and I hope that, you felt like it was well spent here with me today. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.